Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 2020-21 school year. As we are appropriately physically distanced, I am going to remove my mask. I am here today with Superintendent Mike Scott, who would like to welcome our staff back to this unprecedented school year. So, Mike, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. I know this is not the type of staff welcome that you had in mind.
I am really disappointed that we have to do this virtually. One of my favorite things is to do a large kickoff in the fall, and this is a year that we were going to go all out and do that. I think it's always a great opportunity for us to reconnect as an educator community, for us to understand that we're all part of something bigger, and to reflect on not only on the past work that we've done, but to get energized about the work that's coming forward. So yet, while disappointed, at least we have an opportunity to connect this way.
Exactly. So what are your thoughts as we head into the fall?
You know, we've used the word unprecedented over and over again, and really that's what I'm thinking about. We are in unprecedented times as we move forward into the fall. We've had so much changes over the last 6 months. We've had the pandemic, we've had economic crisis, we've had political, social, and racial unrest. So we really are in unprecedented times, and we've got so much uncertainty surrounding us all of the time. And as I think about the fall, one of the things I think about the most is just the hardship that our community has experienced through these last several months. We've got families that are experiencing lack of employment. We've got families that are experiencing food insecurity. We've got housing challenges. So what I think about most during these times are the challenges that our families are facing.
And how do you think we can best fit into the puzzle of solving those challenges?
I think as we deal with these challenges, we need to do whatever is necessary to meet the needs of our kids. We can't always choose what happens to us, but we can always choose what our response is. And we've been through this incredible time of uncertainty. And even as we've gone through this time of uncertainty, one thing I am certain about is that we need to do more for our students who have been historically marginalized and our families who have not felt listened to. Whether it's our students, our staff, or our community members, we need to do more at this time. I'm proud of the work that we've done on the equity front, but the fact of the matter is we just haven't done enough yet. If we look at the data, if we look at the hurt that we see in our community right now, it's clear as educators that we have to do more. And the good news is that as educators, we're in a unique position to help shape the future of our community. We're in a unique position to boost our equity work throughout the community. To that end, we put additional resources towards that work. We've invested in staff and in professional development. And even though we've done that, sometimes I get the feeling that may have felt optional for us or for some of our staff. And that can no longer be the case for us. Over these past several months, night after night and day after day, we've seen protests calling for change. We've seen all races, we've seen all ages, we've seen all genders, all sexual orientations, all religions, countries of origin. Over and over again, we see people turning out in mass quantities to demand change. And I can't help but wonder, as I've seen that occur, what if our students were in session right now? What if they were actually physically on site with us? And I've got to think that they would be showing their discontent with the system, and they would be letting their feelings be known in a pretty big way. And I think as a district, we're at a spot where we have to seize this moment. We've got to be more deliberate about what we do. We've got to be more purposeful, and we've got to be more accountable as an organization. To this end, we've got work to do. We've got to elevate the voices of our historically marginalized community members, whether it be our Latinx community, our LGBTQ community, our Asian and Pacific Islanders, our Native American families, our Black and African American families, our differently abled families, or our differently abled community members. Any group that's not felt heard or has not had that voice or an opportunity to share their voice, we've got to do better by them, and we've got to create a place at the table where they feel comfortable and they have the opportunity to share. By doing that, I believe that we'll have a greater understanding of the needs of our community, and after we have that greater understanding, we'll be able to mobilize a plan to move us forward.
That's great. This is a lot of work to do. What do you have to say to those staff members who might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed themselves as they enter the school year?
Yeah, it is a lot of work, but it's the right work to do. I know that our staff members over and over again are the people that pick up the slack in order to deliver exactly what's needed for our students. We are in a spot right now where we believed that we would be meeting in person with students to some degree, whether that be the traditional delivery model that we're all used to and whether we get excited about for the fall, or whether it be the hybrid model. We thought we would be in that place. The health metrics is not allowing us to do that right now. And over again, our staff has stepped up to do what's necessary to deliver for our students. So for our staff members who are anxious about the work that lies before us, or they're anxious about maybe the temporary assignment that they have for the year, just know that as we move into this year, we've had a couple different goals. And one of those goals, of course, is to deliver the best instruction that we possibly can for our kids. Another goal is to make sure that we're keeping all of our staff members employed. We know that our staff members are what make a difference for our kids. And even as we're in distance learning, we want to make sure that we keep everybody employed and everybody ready to go as we move in eventually to the next phase of our delivery model.
Mike, you mentioned giving students the best educational experience we possibly can. What does that mean to you exactly, and how do we accomplish that when things are just so different this year?
You know, it's not lost on me that so many of our students are experiencing first as they move into this year. So we've got kids that are going into kindergarten, first time they've ever been in an organized educational environment. We've got kids moving into middle school. We've got kids moving into high school. We've got kids that will be engaging in their senior year. And so we've got so many firsts, and we don't want to miss out on those opportunities to celebrate those firsts with our students. We also don't want to miss out on the opportunity to celebrate the accomplishments of our students. Typically, when we're in person, we can build on that relationship that we formed with students. That's the currency that we bank on, and our staff in Hillsboro is so good at that. And it's going to look different, but that doesn't mean that we have to trade in the relationship. What it means is that we have to work at that differently. We've got to encourage our students to stay engaged. We've got to encourage each other to stay engaged. We've got to deliberately work to stay in touch with each other as well as the students and our parents, and just to find any way possible to build those relationships with kids.
Great. I know we're all looking forward to that day for many reasons. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with our staff?
You know, I'd just like to thank the staff. As I mentioned before, they step up on a regular basis, and I just encourage you to continue to use the gifts that you're given to make a difference for our kids and for our broader community. I know that this is incredibly challenging for our staff members. There's staff anxiety about the teaching assignment or the work assignment that they have as they move into the 2021 school year. Just know that that's a temporary assignment, and as soon as we're able, we're going to get into that hybrid model, and we're going to get into that traditional model, and we will be able to operate in a way that we're more comfortable with. We'll get through this. This is a temporary state for us. There will be a time where we're back with our students, and we will get to enjoy that relationship again. I appreciate everything that you do, and the difference that you make for our students on a daily basis. Thank you.
Well, Mike, thank you very much. This was great to have you. And to all of our staff out there, have a wonderful and prosperous 2021 school year.